of my beloved. It's one of the five, the great ancestor of Kuang Wi. IP Tung, how did the founder of the Snow House? When I was alive, I sealed my soul in this sacred fantasy to protect Kuang Wi City. In this way, the city was not invaded. Listen to this snackier sum. Surprising photographer. Hurry up with hands. Turns out to be the original master of the 7 feasts. But I have no interest in becoming your disciple. The enraged devil asked what the twist was. Do you know? Is how you're giving up a wonderful opportunity. There is no guidance. You will have the opportunity to become a great teacher. It doesn't cost a penny. As the photographer replied, to be in love with a legendary spirit master, I can do it myself too. The hot-blooded old man said you were too proud. Crazy you think. Love is something that only needs the lips. Dance can be practiced as SAO. Love the legendary spirit master is the existence of the apex in this world. Unless it's a genius with super genius Ra. Otherwise, this threshold can't be reached. You know how many people knelt that year. Be my disciple. In this temple, I only teach 3 students. The photographer scratched his head and asked, oh, that's okay. What can you teach me? Laughing, hee. I love the legendary spirit master. For the love of this 6. Nothing is unknown. Mastery of astronomy and geography. He also understands countless traditional techniques. In the field of spiritual warfare, they can also teach you. Like these things, our photographer knows what he's interested in. Just stupid face out to make IP off and also stunned. Then say so. This place, we have the 5 most powerful books. You can choose a book. He put out his hand. Then books suddenly appeared before the photographer's eyes. And he took a book, and it's called Mind Transfer. The photographer covered his lips. That kind of handbag, I don't know how to hold out for me. Its highest limit is only the rank of Black Kim. This method flips back and forth. There's a tear everywhere. Look at these 3 pages. Transport soul force into the celestial sphere. Do you know what the earth is used for? If you don't listen to these words, you'll make a fool of yourself. Hurry up and tell me this book is wrong. The photographer also gave his word. He continues to denigrate that he still has this right. Yang Lingzi, I have been practicing this technique for a long time. Find a place with the most sunlight. Can be cultivated. What is the sound? I can't wait to get to the legendary level. We're going to get down to the ground. Moreover, the practice is very rigid. I don't want to see what the hell's going on. Change to yin-yang intercourse. That's 3 times faster than that. The photographer looked at the books and sighed. It also makes love to God. He was surprised to see the book. They decided to turn the book. To protect the law, to integrate the wolf spirit. This one can actually practice to the legendary scene. Laughing, hee. Ask yourself if you like this technique. But he asked me how he liked it. I asked the master. There are only 9 parts to this. I can only practice to love the master of the 3-star. He crossed his arms and said that we also have this tangerine. And I have a 10th. Do you want me to teach you? Make sure you can easily become a legendary spirit master. 5 beautiful people who want to drunk your face. I wonder what kind of background this little devil has. He wants to teach me the opposite. It's obviously a kid. It's like we know more than we do. The photographer sighed for a moment. Then he laughed and told the master. These 5 books are too broken. While alive, I don't blame you for learning these techniques. just enough to reach the legend. If you are alive, good. In our place, there are more than 3,600 kinds of superpower techniques. One of these is better than these 5 books. It could help your VI grow. A man who was told to show his face. Stop the hand and tell it to stop. That's enough. I don't care. Where did you find so many tools? But the law is not the whole practice. You must know. You're still young in terms of training. I am a legendary love priest. I can help you a lot. Old man learned IN profound. It's not something you can imagine. The photographer made a surprised face. Ask for such harm. Let me teach you a problem. At Sao Soul High, it can be combined with love. Laughing with pleasure, haha. Such a simple question, Sao. Your teacher has never taught Sao. Love is the state of existence of the soul. The soul of the sea is the soul. So of course, it's compatible. It's like a glass of water can hold water. Haha, even though you're not bad. But there's no basic knowledge. You should be young too. The photographer asked, but at the end of the day, my friend, clearly reach the love Master White Silver. But it can't be integrated. Love if it's a cup of water. So why can't it hold water? This makes him a fool who's hard to answer. Let's say this is a very low probability. It's almost rarely seen. So it doesn't count. Retouching. It's the unintended. After studying Ra, that can be explained. The secret of a loving master. And even this doesn't understand. I don't know if your teacher taught. I have such a disciple who claims to have been beaten to death for a long time. Then he sighed. It makes you crazy to be told to harden your throat. Challenge the photographer. You say it's because of why? He laughed and said, because the high soul has its fixed properties. Love spirit too. If two things are too far apart, nature will not be compatible. It's like water with fire. Think about the difference in SAO properties. The photographer explained, the human spirit of high doesn't just have this secret. Of course, I love teachers at the same level as you. Won't understand. If you want to be a monk, say not. I agree to give you more explanation. Moreover, his soul has not yet dissipated. I heard that. I'm angry. You are a monk. Here I am. The road is the original Kai-san of Kwangwi City, but despised by this rotten boy. Suddenly, the photographer said, help you rebuild your body. It's not impossible. It's amazing to be able to rebuild your body. I think it's impossible. How do you finally have a calendar? And suddenly, I was thinking, I have to say, I don't want to teach a gifted student. It's so bad. 560 years old. It is the legend that is still true. It startled him. Crazy blood screaming at this son of a bitch. The photographer said, but I'm not a descendant of the snow. They are the people of heaven. Good luck hearing this name. Remember, I was impressed. While we were building Kwangwi, it was a small family. Your ancestors are really strong. You seem to have inherited a little from the family. You just inherited a little. It's self-aggrandizement. When he finished, he disappeared. The photographer laughed softly. He said, if you go, practice. He concentrated on meditation. The soul force immediately emits a powerful gas column. Light source surrounding the photographer. It makes you look far away. You have to feel so horrible. Gas like this, it's very much like a legendary love priestess practicing. It doesn't matter if it's this guy or the girl over there. The practice is too bad. He turned to the side where he was practicing. Maybe the old man didn't show up outside for years. Has changed so much. He immediately told her to stop the little girl. The old man saw that she was intelligent. Or how the old man adopted you as a disciple. I was startled to ask, who is this? The old man replied, here is the ancestor of Kuang Wi, founder of the snow wind. Good luck listening to the introduction. It makes you shoot people. Hurry hands ceremony pharmacy, long swore pepper. Stop the old man. Love to laugh, haha. Not bad, not bad. The family has a teacher. That's right, I was in this holy fantasy. For hundreds of years, I don't know what the outside world is like. The fish replied that Kuang Wi is still safe today. Master of the water. He asked again. It is now Kuang Wi. How many love the Holy Spirit in the town? She respectfully replied, in the beginning there was only one. It's a dress. The Lord was surprised to hear that. Shaltel's SAO can be like that. Stopping standing next to me is silly. What's the matter, SAO? Love to think. Even children can practice the same technique. That SAO only has a legendary love spirit master. He spoke up saying nothing. Little girl, do your magic show me. Maybe I can help you with something. Stop listening to that. He was full of questions about why. She said, Lord. The method we practice. It's called the Dragon Tiger. It was given to me by a friend. Without that friend's permission. I'm afraid I can't say, for the first time. The heckler said no. I just want to see how the law works. You will not learn or give to others. Stop pausing. Then he said, well, we'll make a deal. She brought her dragon wind. Show me a little bit. I can teach you French. It's 10 times stronger than yours. Suddenly, the photographer in time rushed to shout. This old man made a fool out of the photographer's question. How can you get into my brain? And then he asked the boy, why did you die too? The photographer crossed his hand and told me I wasn't going to die. It's just an extroverted soul. It's a very simple magic. He said, don't be fooled by him. What are you in a hurry to say? What a fool is talking about. The photographer replied, those tattered law books of yours that claim to trick. The dragon. If it's not a trick, what's good for you? Once upon a time it was the water to defraud a young lady. The little fish heard that as well. But turn your head. He added that the old man is dead. So here we are. I don't care about your law. Let's not talk about cheating. People ask me again and again. I don't care. You just did something. He said, I just want to help this girl. Look at the techniques she practices. Is there any defect? He heard that and thought, people like you can see something. The cold said, but it's okay to show you something. It makes him laugh. Then he asked me what the hell you wanted. Speak straight out. Vietnamese praise. The tiger is not the ancestor. The master speaks very generously. I want the angel to draw the sword. I heard that. Yiching flatly refused. It made him think seriously. I heard about the angel. The sword knows what the law is. The photographer immediately used soft touch to secure, then leave. But the devil said wait. How do you know the angel with the sword is in here? He replied, heaven and earth, we have existed for a long time. Even the old man doesn't know. I also know this word. He's full of anger. I said, The angel's sword is not a toy. Even if I let you hold it, you can't control it either. That sword killed countless animals. The gas in the sky is a mighty weapon. That year in the year of the Holy Spirit, we are the only saints. I can use this sword. Laughing, I'm not sure. Lord, just lead me to find his sword. We know how to control it ourselves. He reminded me, don't mess up, based on your strength. Then you can't wear it. But that just takes a little bit of negligence. Then you can be betrayed again. The photographer shook his head and sighed. You don't trust me too much. That's not how we bet. That surprised him. Ask what to bet. I thought this guy was so confident. Original holy entry. It was because of this sword that he died. While he is also the legendary character of the Master of Love. She used to call him a photographer. It also gives us a very strange feeling. If this god fell into his hands, maybe that's not a bad thing. For Kwong Wee City. Thinking about it, he agreed. So what are we betting on? He said if we could get it. Then, in the future, you'll have to listen to me. If 7 fails, the dragon tiger will belong to you. It's a shame that I don't know how big or small. What are you talking about? You say you dare to listen to your master. He said he didn't believe me and was afraid of losing. Then there's nothing more to say. Make love. It's not that easy to lie to me. I deliberately want to provoke you. Ha ha. He said you can bet. You just need to change the betting conditions a bit. The surprised photographer asked for a change. How did he say? First of all, let's talk about the sound of the dragon tiger. Let me know first. Then, I will take you to find the angel of the sword. If you can't get the sword, you'll have to show me your work. The photographer also agreed. Then turn to your opinion. Huang Ni, do you agree to say the words for the first time? She laughed and said it was from you. But of course, I have no opinion. If you say that, a word has been made. Through the water. You can't swallow your words. He gritted his teeth, of course. So the squatter told him to sit down. Then said Lam Yi through, yelling, I am the soul that sits on that fart. He is serious. To say the words of Dich Long's lightning. It makes people stupid when you hear about this magic. A glow that comes out. He's white. He covers his hands. It's amazing. But the photographer here is still making inconvenient maneuvers. Reading the words made him think. If we learn it early, then maybe you can reach the legendary level. Quickly, the photographer told me it was over. Make him confused to crawl to the ground. Horrified to think, unexpected in this world, there's such a wonderful technique. There's no slight drawback. Completely out of my league. The photographer came to ask, how can you take us away? Let him take his word. Immediately, the spirit of the Buddha returned. His body came back to stop. She also looked to call the photographer. I suddenly remember before. I gave him a rose string. Love that, face down. Hurry up and calm yourself down and go with the photographer. Follow the love. He took the 2 of them for a walk and told them to look in front of him. It's the center of the sanctuary. Be careful. The photographer speaks up because it's illusory. So the landscape is constantly changing. Just withdrew, then suddenly in front of him was a gold rush, with thousands of deadly gas. He frowned, thinking, the weapon is from the sword god. Watch out, there are many who have died under this sword. It's just these phenomena. It doesn't work for me either. When I looked back, she was shaking. Dark face full of fear. He thought about Ra. It's still too much for me. He's in the mood to scream. Stop the child from waking up. She's panting, scared, sweaty, wet. The photographer asked if it was okay. She laughed softly and said, why? Thank you, photographer. While the body is wet. Sweat flowed into the grapefruit slit like a flowing stream. This scene caught the photographer's eye. It's embarrassing for him. Hurry up and close your mouth. He turned to ask the Lord. If I could win the sword, then you will follow me. Is this word true? Confirm, of course. The way is the water. I've never cheated anyone before. If you really can't beat it, we can't be in the sky either. The holy scene is too, because my soul depends on it. So it can exist until now. But this boy, I still advise you one thing. This magic sword is not easy to draw. Laughing at just the right time. I don't like things either. It's tasteless to do so easily. This word makes me think too. The son of a bitch is more boastful than I am. Right now in front of their eyes. It's lightning flashing down. The closer you get, the stronger the lightning strikes. The bangs banging out. Suddenly in front of my eyes appeared. Contains a cool sword. It's plugged in there. Silly child who said, that's the angel with the sword. I can't move forward anymore. The force it emits is too strong. Your soul is hard to sustain. She immediately executed the dragon sword. To tame the regent looking to praise. The speed of soul force increases here. It's faster than before. Suddenly, a powerful light burst out. Make the photographer and the lady surprised. Out in bewilderment, stop breaking through. What level have you reached now? She laughed and replied, it's 5 loves. There is no longer any distance from the golden master. That's too good. Happy to congratulate you, my friend. Now, he was able to take control of his own destiny. Then he remembered that Ra was right. Before that, you have also cultivated a lot of love. I was also curious to ask what it was. The photographer brought to a love spirit said, please try to connect with this spirit. It's an angel level lightning. That's good. He promised to ask the boy, you have this too. What does God level mean? Like the photographer told me not to tell you. Hi. Stop doing things when you receive love. He laughed and said he didn't need any guests. Based on my current VI, plus the wind and the wind. I'm afraid to come. You're not my opponent anymore. I want you to blend in. She said yes. The photographer insists on going to the altar. I look around and wonder. Photographer, can you finally draw the angel's sword? Even though he just loves the platinum priest. But he's got skills and magic that we've never seen before. He crossed his arms and stared. The photographer is moving forward. Suddenly, a lightning strike. A boom hit the sword. It creates an amazing atmosphere. The surrounding water, suddenly, there's a violent wave rumbling. Hit towards the photographer. Suddenly, a set of gas teeth behind the water curtain rushed to attack him. Make the photographer stunned. Realize that it's a deadly gas. Looking across the distance, I'm worried that this gas is broken. Afraid that even love the dark Kim spirit. I can't stand it. Strangely enough, the water turned to both sides. Flaming gas emitting. Tremor is coming full force. With the breath of love. It is also difficult to understand how to look at it. Realize that he loves. Love spirit, it's not extinct SAO. Even such a bad love is bad. I think I was really prepared before coming here. The use of stealth. So I'm running through the air like a wind. He quickly came to the cool sword. Stand up in the face of powerful lightning. The sword created. Take a step closer. Suddenly, the scary lightning struck. To make the photographer stunned, I think of my soul. I was in contact with the angel of the sword. But they attacked you. I realized that these lightning lines are the spirit of love in. The sword looked and felt very good and quickly transformed. Then sit down. It radiates the soul of attraction. The lightning. Suddenly, the column of light came. It makes a loud noise. Try to grimace your face. When the power of the soul is there, innumerable animals come in. There are 5 grunting to attack. She looked up and asked in amazement. SAO, you can directly let the spirit of love enter. I want to die. Suddenly in the spirit of the photographer. Suddenly, a tiger appeared. It goes out and attacks the souls. Knock them out in the blink of an eye. Then these souls, when they're weak, absorbed into the sea by the spirit of the photographer. Then other souls come in. She went straight to the photographer. Avalokitesvara said in bewilderment, every time a spirit enters, high soul will absorb the soul force, he can reconcile the 2 love spirits. Was his technique cultivated like that? Quickly, the souls continue to be absorbed by the photographer. The lightning strikes one after another. He was briefly from the silver quad. And then 5 very powerful breakthroughs. His sea soul. They are constantly absorbing other souls. At this moment, the photographer woke up and announced that it was time. And then directly against the lightning. The brilliance of the angel still draws the sword, and then there's the boom boom. Love sees that in your mind. You can naturally use this technique. I didn't think about that year. That year, the holy priest practiced the system of. That causes the body to turn into lightning. To line up the sword. Due to side effects, he died at the age of 39. Then no AI can control the angel's sword. To stop the killing of this sword. Harm to others. We build up the divine vision. He said, it seems that he absorbs energy very easily. It's not normal. He also uses his technique to absorb the soul power of others. The lightning rods are constantly hitting. Suddenly, the sword loomed. Catch up on the opportunity. Tiger Regent emits resources to fight. Stand up and walk towards the sword. When the sword completely appears, then he's quick. Capture the handle of the angel, still the sword. He slowly pulled the sword out of the castle. Light source flare out furiously. From the sky comes a source. Shining straight down, it shocked everyone in Kwangwi City. The owner said, "Can you hear me?" He nods his head. But I can't find the flavor of it. It's weird. Maybe it's a legend. Appeared recently. This can't be a small thing. He stood up. He told me to summon all the dark needles. To discuss countermeasures. After the earthquake. Suddenly, the sky is blue again. And finally, the photographer has taken out this awesome sword. Right now on the left. He held the sword in his hand. Then the rays keep coming. Try swinging your sword straight into the sky. Then immediately, the lightning strikes each other. It creates a boom, 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 to light up the sky. After that horror, the sky changed. The glittering rays of the sun. The lightning curtain disappeared. On the sword, the lightning is also quickly extinguished. He was amazed to think. Since, compared to death, my previous life is even better. I was surprised to say the violence stopped. Then he departed the sword behind his back. Then turned to ask, why did our ancestors succeed? He calmly went down. Then I flew through the air to find it unexpected. If I lose, I will follow you. It's just heaven. The sword has always been my rock. I have accepted you as my master now. There is no support. My soul can only survive for a few days. Then it's gone. So my promise. It only works in those days. This word makes you stupid. He continued, but the way is your ancestor. You can't go back like that, right? Suddenly, the photographer crossed his hand to lift his mouth and say, we have a way. Follow me. Then turn to stop us. 3 people are happy to leave. They quickly came out of the sky. The Holy Land Academy. As soon as they walked out the door, the eagles welcomed them. You both passed the test too well. Meanwhile, IP goes through Theo next door, but they didn't see it. The photographer bowed his head to talk. We passed through the divine. I still hope the vice president doesn't say, get out. IP nodded in agreement. Of course, I will inform the owner. Let him protect you. Go back first. Thank you to the vice president. I wonder, oh, this is the St. Lan Sao Academy. The photographer asked the genius he met every year. I don't know what the outside world is like. Love says, but this is our first time out. I've never lived in a house like this before. Then he asked the photographer. Where are you going? He said, prepare your body. He was surprised to ask if you really had a way. But not human. Any object can be a refuge for the soul. She turned to tell the dog. We're going to the blacksmith shop for a ride. It's full of questions. What does the photographer want to do? He laughed softly. I think we're lucky to know a few ways to train Kim. And the luckier you get at drawing. Today I will show you. And then the construction started. After a few hours of painting, the photographer is finally done. He said it was perfect. The devil looks at you and says, this isn't what you're doing. He replied, things are not evil. Evil is only people. IP said again, if what you're doing is human, I will definitely like it. Then look at the Aphrodite, who is a Sao bird. Bad. It's bad news, but it's better than being destroyed. Then say again, what I use for you is the best metal. They don't sell on the market. So the legend can't be destroyed. He turned to say. He finished it and came. Immediately, the soul of love. Into this iron bird. His eyes lit up and fluttered his wings. 6 adventurers look up and stare in wonder. Flying. The photographer asked him why, and he was fine. The photographer laughed softly. Wait until you get used to this. Then the power will be slowly restored. Again, a legendary rank soul. The devil sighed. The spirit of legend is ironic. But in this way, we also see the resurrection. She said she needed to get a name. I thought of the name African. Make the piercing eucalyptus scream. What a rotten boy, I am the original master. Sixth adventurer heard the village bird screeching. To recognize, he asked if he wanted to change his name. Little Fish laughed happily to say Little Africa. That's a great name. The photographer laughed. If you don't like it, call it a little girl. It also makes me run out of words. And the 6 adventurers next to him looked at the laughing bird. Ha bao fei fei. Will you lay eggs? At this point, the photographer told me to come back quickly. It's not too early. 6 miles on the road suggest we go this way. I know the shortcut park. He surprisingly asked for what way. 6 exploration of the Mexican Ngok land of the collector. I used to go out through. It will shorten a lot of time. So we all followed. 6 adventure guide to a lonely road full of trees. Suddenly, the photographer stopped. He suddenly sensed that there was an AI. Suddenly, the gas rushed in, filled them with confusion. If you are cold enough to say anything, come here. If you have to hide, what do you do? As soon as I finished speaking, the shadows came. They landed and surrounded this place. Make 6 eye-popping adventures. And little Africa FLIs above. Harry looked around them. Is to realize it's all on Bak Yen. There are 4 golden ones. Even a voice can be detected. We see that Ra cannot despise this boy. The photographer said to bring these people to block the way. I have considered it too contemptuous of me. He glared at the elders. Makes the hooded Gaiach. The mad judge. Aesthetic photographer absolutely does not let it escape. He ordered his followers to act. They move quickly and get close. The mayor reminded me to stop. 6 ways to protect yourself for good. We deal with them. When he finished speaking, he let out his anger. They also release their love spirit. They say we're up to. The judge here, said the cold. I still don't know your current situation. If you obey, your hands are tied. Then I can give it to you. Dead domination regency. When I say this, I must say it. Do you know how to kill people in Kwangwi City? Is it a crime of death or not? I advise you to put down your weapon. Come with me to the owner. Then I can spare you a life. If not, don't blame me for being unkind. This word makes them wonder. Look at each other. Then laugh out loud, haha. Full of sarcasm and said little devil. I also want to look. In the end, how are you not going to be gracious to us? She looked up and called little Africa. The iron bird immediately came. In the presence of the guards, he gave orders to me. While little Lady Lao came to chop. The cold is just a bunch of useless. They haven't done anything yet. The bird blocked the way and threw the kick. He grabbed his head and pulled a guy up. They made the people below ask. What is it? Let's catch it. The masks are nothing. That was made to run away by the concubine. 8 locusts love village, la neighborhood. Make the hot-blooded judge scream obnoxiously. Don't worry about that bird. Let's catch the Kier little devils first. This also appeared. He rushed to attack the photographer. He's serious. The air came at the right time. Get ready to fight. Culture converges to form a tiger to punch. Then the photographer here also turned into a panda.